Hey lovelies, thanks for stopping by my channel. Today's video is all about the new Natasha Denona Chromium liquid shadows. Can't wait to share my thoughts with you on these. Now, if we haven't met, my name is Kelly and I am a professional hair and makeup artist. And here on YouTube, I strive to keep beauty real. Real relatable, real honest, and real fun. So if that sounds like something you'd be into, don't forget to subscribe. I was very excited for this launch because I really do love a good liquid or cream shadow, and I love multi-chromes. I think that it's a great way to be able to quickly jazz up any look. So I thought what I would do is use, of course, both of these after swatching them for you so that we can really see both colors on the eyes. Now, I will also be pulling out some other multi-chromes from my collection just so we can maybe do some swatching and see some comparisons as far as like formulas, just in case you were interested in seeing the value of these maybe compared to some others. So I hope that that will be helpful for you. Let's go ahead and we'll jump into the swatches and looks first. All right, so here is the pretty box that these liquid shadows come in. I really like this like reflective red shade. Now, I do also really love the way that these are packaged because the lids sort of reflect the shade that you're getting, so you can kind of see that multi-chrome effect, especially if you have them in like an acrylic container or something where you're popping them like this so that you'll see them from the top. It's a good way to be able to see what you have. Now, as far as the pricing on these chromium shades, they are $28 and you get 0.08 ounces or 2.5 mils in these. So of course, a lot of people have already talked about how small these are compared to some others. Now, I personally find that I would actually rather have a smaller amount of something like this so that they don't dry out as quickly. I mean, I will say that $28 is fairly high priced for something this size, but it is Natasha Denona after all. Now, the two shades I have are Infra Nude and Dog Bane, and in all honesty, at this price point, I wanted to get two shades that I knew that I would use a lot and something that I don't have a lot of in my collection, like whether it's in other liquid shadows or pressed shadows, something that's a little different than what I have. Okay, I turned down the lighting just a little bit, hoping that this would maybe give you a better chance to see the multi-chrome effect on these. It's really hard to get on camera. I did post a couple pictures and videos on my Instagram, so if you guys want to check that out, that's Keep Beauty Real, you might be able to see a little bit better. This top shade is Dog Bane, and this is described as a warm red, golden bronze, and greenish gold shade. Now, this bottom one, which I have to say is probably my favorite, is Infra Nude, and that's a nude, burgundy, and greenish gold. Now, I know that these might not seem like the most exciting shades in the group, but for me, they were gonna be shades that I knew that I would use a lot. I think that both of these can be used with many different colors in a look, so I'll be able to reach for them quite often and, you know, be able to pull them out a lot. And at this price point, I want it to be something that I'm gonna be able to reach for quite a bit, especially because Natasha Denona is saying that these have a 6-month shelf life, so in 6 months I need to be able to use these up. And by the way, when I did these swatches, I did just go ahead and swipe it on with the doe foot applicator. In all honesty, I do find that I'm enjoying using a concealer brush, but I will do application both ways, one with one color and one with another, so you guys can see the result. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into a couple looks. I will do one on one side and then one on the other. I hope that you guys are okay with that. Let me know down below if you're like, oh, I prefer really to see like a full face, but I do think for me, it's obviously easier here trying it out for you because then I don't have to like try to wipe it all off and redo, but I would certainly do that if you find it more helpful. However, I think sometimes it's fun to kind of see the options as well. So we will go ahead and do Infra Nude on this side, and then we'll go through with Dog Bane on this side. Now, I think for time's sake, when I'm doing these eye looks, I'm just gonna go ahead and speed through everything other than these liquid shadows, just so that we aren't here for a really long time. But when it comes down to using the actual cream shadows, I will do that in real time so you can see just how they work. But don't worry, I will give you all the details on what I've used at the end of each look. So before we go through with the chromium shade, I just wanted to share with you guys, I used from Sydney Grace, I used Electric Lime and Gisa Lang. So these are the two shadows that I've popped on so far. I really love these. I think that it's like a very soft neon look, and I think that you guys will see that this is just a way to sort of like play up that fun color vibe, but in a soft, subtle way, sort of. So now when we go through with this Infranude shade, I am just gonna lay it down with the doe foot applicator. Now you certainly could just lay it down and be done, but I always do like to have a small synthetic brush on hand just to be able to like blend that out a little bit if you choose to. Now this is also a great way to just have a one and done shadow look. You could certainly just like lay the shadow down, blend it out and up into your crease and be done. After using these for a couple days, I do prefer to use these with a concealer brush or like a flat shader brush, just because I do find that you get a little bit more even application, but you know, that's just kind of my preference. You guys can already see, like, as just with the turn of my lid, like I can see that little flip of color. It's so fun. So I do find that these dry fairly quickly, so I'd like to do one eye at a time and really make sure to blend that out really nicely. And then I'm just gonna tap to make sure that that lays down over the lid. And then once I feel like that cooling sensation has gone and I feel like it's more dry, I will go through with my original brush that I put that green shade, that electric lime, into the crease, and I'll just make sure to give that a little blur. And I'm just taking a little bit of the Sydney Grace Pumpkin Spice Latte Extra Whip highlighter to throw over this inner corner just to give us a little shimma. I am gonna finish this up with a little thin line of black eyeliner and some mascara, but I wanted to give you a chance to be able to see it before I do that. I think that this Infranude shade is a perfect way to tiptoe into the multi-chrome world because it's fairly subtle. I mean, it would be more subtle if you didn't pair it with green and yellow eyeshadow, but you could certainly do this with like a little bronzer in your crease, swipe it on your lid, and you know, I actually think that that would even be daytime appropriate. And again, like I said, I think that this really could be paired with many colors and be something that you could get a lot of use out of. Now, let me go ahead and finish up this eye, and we'll go ahead and use Dog Bane on the other side. So before I get carried away like building up the depth of this look, I want to go ahead and go over with Dog Bane. By the way, I am using my Wayne Goss Imperial Topaz palette. I did just go through with the rosy shade to kind of like blur out into my transition, and then just a little bit of this brown shade through the crease. I think I am gonna like build that up a little bit more to make it deep and possibly tiptoe into some of the black as well, but wanted to give you guys a little update there. And let's go ahead and try out this shade. Now, I am going to be using the Sigma Cream Color Brush. This is just, like I said, like a nice little flat brush, if you guys can see that. So this is just, I would say, a more precise way to apply it, and because it is a flat brush, it's really easy to like lay that on very smooth and seamless, especially with a multi-chrome like this. If you don't get it all in like one smooth layer, you're gonna see a little like difference in the multi-chrome because you're basically building that texture and the light is gonna hit that differently. So this is probably the most accurate way to get these applied, but not necessarily something you have to do. It's like spreading a rainbow over your eyelid. It's so fun. I was using this one yesterday and Jeremy came in and he was like, whoa. It's like, that's like fish scales on your eye. I mean, I think he meant it as a compliment, but it's funny because it does have that like reflective quality. So that just went on like butter. I think that really it's great to use a brush. I will go ahead and let this dry a little bit, and I'll go over with a little bit more just so we can see the layering amount. I haven't done 2 layers before, but I'll do it for you guys. I will say I feel like I can see a little bit more texture on my lid on this side from just using that doe foot applicator, whereas I feel like this side is much more smooth. That could also just be the difference in shades too. Like maybe because this has that like pink reflect, maybe that's just picking up the texture a little bit more. But either way, I don't feel like it's a lot of texture. Okay, so again, I have a little bit of that color on my brush, and I'm just going to like pat this in to build it. And you'll get, I would say, a higher sheen from doing a patting motion than you will like a swiping motion. I really love this shade. This was the first one that like kind of drew me in. I was looking at the Instagram post that Natasha Denona did first with like, I think it was actually a model that was wearing this shade, and I was like, oh, that looks so pretty. And then when I saw the infra nude shade, I was like, oh, that's a really usable one too. I'm just gonna use the Wayne Goss palette to build this look up a little bit more. Of course, apply some mascara, and then we will move on to chatting a little bit about these shadows and doing some comparisons. Okay guys, here we have our final look. Now I did end up using some of that like rosy copper shade to just intensify through the crease, and then just a bit of black on the outside and some black liner. So I really do like both of these looks. It's gonna be very interesting because I do have to go to the salon after this, so I'm gonna have to try to like mix and match to sort of like make these both look the same in some way. So just to give you guys a few of my thoughts on these, if you aren't interested in seeing some of the other comparisons, I honestly do really like them. I think that they are very pretty. I will say also that they are very long wearing. I have worn these. In fact, yesterday I came home, actually both days, I wore them for like a 12-hour day at the salon, and there was no problem. Last night I got home and Jeremy was like, oh, you still have your fish scales on. He's like, it looks great. I don't see any creasing, which I thought was really sweet. He's definitely like been supportive in that makeup game. But yeah, I would say that, you know, really these are very long lasting, and I personally don't usually put down an eye primer. I've just been using concealer on my lids, so I don't have anything to sort of like extend the wear, and I found that these work great. Now, I will say that if you build them up past the point of what I did on this one, where I just like tapped that little bit extra on, I could see them starting to like get that little bit of a bunchy feel. Now, I haven't found that at all because I don't find the need to build up that color more than that. But of course, with any liquid or cream shadow, I do find that over time that, you know, the more you put on, the more texture you're going to get. So that's not just this formula, that's any formula. But really, I am all in all very happy with this. The only thing I would say is that obviously for the price point, you're not getting a lot of product. But again, Natasha Denona, you kind of have to expect that price point. So now I want to show you a couple options of other multi-chromes in case you know, are looking to dive into this world and you want some comparisons. Okay, so this first product I haven't had a chance to use yet. I literally just got these in the mail, and I am so excited, so we will be swatching them together on camera. But these are the JD Glow Liquid Multichromes, and these have been super, super hot. I was gonna save these for my next Black Owned Beauty Brands video, but I'm gonna pull them out now and we can look at them together. I do have two shades. I will say, I think that literally all of these other multichromes I'm gonna be talking about are sold out right now. So these would be things that you'd probably have to put on your wish list and wait for them to come back in stock. But this is the shade No Way, and then I do also have the shade Sphinx. Sorry, try not to blind you with this super shiny packaging. So let's swatch these. I'll do Sphinx first, and I'm just gonna put these above the Natasha Denona shades so that we can kind of compare. Okay, so again, hopefully you guys will be able to see in the camera here, but we have the shade No Way, and then next to it is Sphinx. Now, I will say that this Sphinx shade is almost more of like a multi-chrome glitter. Like, you'd have to use that as a topper, I would think, just because it is really pretty sheer. And again, just to be honest, now this is a darker color, so you're gonna notice patchiness a little bit more with something like this, but in this No Way shade, I found that when I first laid that first coat, there was a bit of like see-through to the skin underneath. So again, I haven't used these yet, so I will make sure to update you guys in that Black Owned Beauty Brands video how I feel about that. Now, to compare prices, these are $18, and they have 7 grams of product in that. So you're getting almost 3 times as much product for less money. Again, I can't attest to the quality of them, but I do really like this, especially that No Way shade. That's gonna be really fun to use. It's sort of like that flip of, I would say, burgundy into green and purple. So that's gonna be a really fun one to use. I do also have another product from JD Glow. This is one of their multi-chrome liners, and I thought I would share this with you. Actually, I saw that my friend Yadi had used her Sphinx Natasha Denona as a liner, and it looked really beautiful. I have a feeling that this, if it's a great formula, would be a little bit easier just because of the applicator. So let me go ahead and pull this out. Wow, this brush is super tiny, which could be really, really helpful when you are wanting to put on that liner. Wow, you guys. Okay, this looks really pretty. I'm gonna be using this tomorrow. That's all I have to say. So this, again, I don't know if you'll be able to pick it up. It goes from like a rusty red copper into that like magenta. Okay guys, I just checked, and this liner and a couple of the other shades of the multi-chrome liners are in stock. So run, don't walk to the website right now if you want these, but they are $18 for 4 milliliters, and they do have some beautiful pictures of the different shades so you can really see the multi-chrome effect. And again, I'm sorry that I haven't been able to try these out to, you know, really give you a comparison as far as quality goes, but I did just get them in the mail, but I wanted to give you guys the chance to see them. I will update you in that Black-owned beauty brands video. Now, another way to keep up on my thoughts on products is to follow me on Instagram at Keep Beauty Real, because I will always share in my stories or, you know, even on some posts how I'm feeling about products. So it's a good way to sort of be updated as I try new stuff out. Okay, one more product to share with you guys is from Sydney Grace. Now, I do have 2 of their multi-chrome pressed pigments. I don't have their liquid cream multi-chromes. I do know that they had those, but I have never seen them in stock. So I do just have 2 of the pressed pigments. Okay, so hopefully you guys can see the pretty shift on these. I have to say my favorite is Chameleonaire. Sorry for the dog, it's just gonna happen. She's kind of freaking out right now. But so I have to say I was a little bit bummed because they have one other shade, and that's Twisted Shifter, and that one actually looks sort of similar to Dogbane a little bit. These are all out of stock right now, by the way. Like, I think that the Sydney Grace, what was it? The Christmas in July sale just like cleared them out totally. But these are $15, and I'm assuming these pans are 2 grams. I couldn't find it on the website. Nope, 1.5 grams. So obviously it's gonna be a very different formula because you're working with a pressed pigment versus with a liquid shadow, but that might be a pro to you or it might be a con. So I just wanted to give you that option as well. These are super beautiful and reflective. All right guys, sorry if the lighting has changed a little bit. Jeremy was just getting ready to leave and I want to say goodbye to him, so I've been gone for a couple minutes. But I did notice that when I was in my kitchen, you could really see the multi-chrome of these in the natural light. But if I can get a really good clip showing you guys the difference of all these, I will insert it so that you can see that. You know, sometimes it's just hard with studio lighting, like to really see the true beautiful reflectiveness. How many times can I put my hand up to you guys like this? Okay, enough of that, but I do hope that you found this video helpful. Like I said, I do really enjoy the Natasha Denona Chromium shades. I think that they are beautiful, they're really easy to use, and I think for me, the 2 shades that I got are going to be shades that I can use a lot. So if you really do love Natasha Denona and you want to give these a try, I say thumbs up. I mean, I've really enjoyed getting to play with these. Now, what I would recommend doing is if you are really interested, pick up one shade that you truly think you'll use a lot. Try it out, try the formula before you go out and go gangbusters. I know sometimes it's like, ooh, all the pretty things, and we, you know, buy a whole collection, but are you really going to use all of those shades within that 6-month time frame before? And I don't know if that's when they like expire or if they're going to dry out, but I would just pick up 1 or 2, see how you like it, see if you're grabbing it a lot. Now, these are listed as limited edition, which doesn't really surprise me because it is a little bit of a niche or a trend thing. I can't imagine that these would be a forever thing in Natasha Denona's line, but I could see if the sales are really good, maybe they'll extend the time of that. So like I said, pick up 1 or 2 shades, see how you like it before you go and invest in the entire collection. Now, if you did find this video helpful, don't forget to give it a like. That would really help me out and I do very much appreciate it. Please consider subscribing so you don't miss out on those future videos, and I will see you guys really soon. Now, if we haven't met before, my name is Kelly and I'm a professional. My name is